Hello everyone, my name is Serge and welcome. For today's video, I wanted to go over some very simple yet game-changing tips that I wish I knew about when I first began my Epic 7 journey. If you've been playing this game for a while, you might already know about most of these things. But hey, who knows, maybe there's something here that you might have not yet been aware about. But if you're more of a newer player, please hear me out, as most of these tips will absolutely help your account in the long run. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Now, the first tip I wanted to bring up is about shop refreshing. And like I said, if you've already been playing this game for a while, you probably already know about this. However, if you're more of a newer player, please do keep this in mind, okay? Now, your lobby might look a little bit different than mine. Yours might look a little bit more like this one. So this feature is going to be located with this merchant right over here. And if you have this type of lobby, it's going to be right over here. Now, the main reason I wanted to bring this tip up is because I know that when I first started the game, I did know about this shop. However, I didn't really interact with it because I didn't know what to buy, what was good, what was not, or how to efficiently use this, right? So I want to touch up on these things with you guys. Now, the number one feature about this shop is that you can refresh this as many times as you want, of course, given that you have the Sky Zone to do so. And the main reason why you want to do that in the first place is because there's a good chance that you can find Covenant bookmarks and Mystic medals. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, right, that's good and all, but please do keep in mind that this can become a huge gold sink, right? So before you go off on a shopping spree, go crazy, buy all this summon currency that you can possibly want, do keep in mind that this will create a huge imbalance in your gold compared to your other resources in the game, right? If you have hunting materials, if you have charms, if you have gear that you need to upgrade, you might not have enough gold to carry on and do everything else in the game, right? Just because you've been spending so much of your time and so much of your resources buying summoning currency. So that's the main thing I wanted to bring up about this shop. It's good and all to indulge yourself in a lot of summon currency, but always do so with your gold in mind. The only other thing to look out for, aside from Covenant bookmarks and Mystic medals, is the occasional God roll piece of gear. They're kind of hard to come by, but never buy gear from here or anything else unless it's a godlike piece of gear, okay? And yeah, that might cover this segment for now. Now, the next tip I wanted to bring up is about mail claiming. And I know, mail claiming, like what? Really? Talking about mail? But yeah, guys, you'll be surprised how much more efficient you and your account can become if you just pay a little bit more attention to your mail and only claim what you need to claim. Just because I know that every other game, every other gacha out there, the way they have taught us things is just, you see mail, you claim everything, right? Just claim all, get it over with, give me everything. However, Epic 7 does work a little bit different than that. Just because you might get some mail that never expires, so you don't have to worry about it going away. And we have some other mail that do expire that, of course, you should claim before it runs out. Now, one way for you to be able to do this more efficiently, rather than having to scroll all the way down, you see 4 days, like, okay, what's going to expire? 3 days, blah, 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 2 days. Instead of doing that, because I know that because of this, I missed out on a lot of mail that I wasn't aware that was expiring soon. What you can do, and what you should do, is change this from time received to time left. And now we can see we're starting from the top down. So what you will do is change it from bottom up. Now, the mail is going to display what's about to expire in order, right? So this will definitely help you keep track of what to claim, when to claim it, and not just spam receive all or forget about things that are about to expire soon, right? For our next tip, we have the daily 10% gold bonus that we get from our reputation rewards. Now, whenever you first log in for the day, just about anything that you do will give you enough daily reputation XP for you to be able to claim like the first, second, and third chest, etc., right? However, do keep in mind that the second chest does give you the plus 10% battle gold earned for 1 hour. So as soon as you claim this, you'll be starting the 1 hour timer for your gold buff, essentially, right? So my advice to you is do not claim this chest if you know that you're not gonna be, sticking around for the next hour. Maybe you're just logging in to do a quick summon, check the banners, or doing something, and then logging off, do not claim this chest. Just because I know that it's super tempting, right? Whenever you see red dots, you just want to claim everything, right? It's in our nature. I know, trust me, I've been there. So do not claim that chest. However, if you know that you're jumping in, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna do some hunts, you have to grind a stage or do something, side story, whatever that case might be, of course, go ahead and claim this chest. That way you can get a full advantage of the plus 10% gold buff that we get, because trust me guys, if you do this every single day, the amount of extra gold that you'll be earning, it adds up, okay? So this is something that I totally missed out when I first started playing the game, you know, because I wasn't necessarily aware of it. I would always just log in, claim everything, whether I was playing for a long period of time or not. So keep that in mind. And just to double check, whenever you claim this chest, I should say, you should be able to see the buff and timer right down here, somewhere over here, right? You'll be able to see the plus 10% gold buff, and then however much time you have left within that hour. Next up, I want to bring up the 2 secret merchants that are kind of hidden in the game. You might know about them, but if you don't, definitely keep an eye out for these guys because they bring some pretty good stuff to the table. Their inventory resets daily and they trade for gold, okay? So none of that, you know, offer sky stones for goods or whatever. No, just gold. So they're pretty value. Now, out of the 2, one of them is definitely going to be worse than the other one. So we'll be going over that one first. Now, that merchant is going to be in Adventure. It's going to be on episode 1, okay? You won't be able to find them in unrecorded history, weirdly enough. It's going to be in the Savara and on stage 3-4. Now, I'm just going to skip the video to take us to the merchant. Okay, we're here. So this is going to be the merchant. And it's going to be right over here in the stage. And let's check his inventory. Now, the thing about this merchant is that, number 1, do not, I repeat, do not buy gear from this guy. The prices on these things are absolutely ridiculous. It would take you about a year worth of, you know, hoarding all your gold to be able to afford this extremely terrible piece of gear, right? And you might say, well, then what the hell is the point of this guy, right? Like, you should not buy anything from him. And you'll be right, except for the fact that he does sometimes bring in charms to his shop. And these charms will be a little bit more expensive than the second merchant we'll be covering in a second. But they, in my humble opinion, they still offer a lot of value. Especially if you're trying to, you know, upgrade gear, speed up your account, etc. Getting charms for gold, in my opinion, is pretty worth. So the only thing to look out for this guy's shop is the charms. Now with that first merchant out of the way, let's go over the second merchant, which you should be able to find inside the labyrinth. You can find this merchant in very different various stages. However, the easiest and quickest way to get access to him is going to be through the Tyrell Castle in Chaos. It's going to be in area 1, so super quick and easy. So when you first start the stage, you're gonna appear right here. So all you gotta do is skip over to this north waypoint over here. You're gonna go down. And unfortunately, you always do have to do this one quick battle. But you know, they're level 9 enemies, so it takes little to no time, okay? So you see, super quick, super easy. It's gonna be in this part of the map right here. And let's check his inventory. As you can see, this guy is so much better than the previous one that we just saw. And look at this, man. This is insanely good materials right here, right? The loot in here is amazing. So what you obviously want to go ahead and do is just buy everything, okay? You can never have enough charms. You can never have enough artifacts. So just buy everything from this guy. Like I said before, these 2 merchants reset daily. So always check up on them. Sometimes they will have really good stuff, sometimes they won't. But as long as you check up on them, you can always make sure that you're not missing out on any cool stuff, okay? For our last tip of the day, I wanted to go over using gear as fodder, okay? And I know that might be a very common practice, especially for those who are just starting the game, right? You don't have that many charms. You're just trying to get by, upgrading the gear that you have with whatever resources that you get, right? Let's say you have a decent piece of gear and you're using your fodder such as this to try to increase its level. And that's good and all, right? but I do want to talk about how that affects your account in the long run and why you shouldn't necessarily do that forever, right? Because like I said, it's totally fine to do it when you're first starting the game, when you're sort of low on charms, so the resources, etc. But as I'm going to show in this example right here, it is absolutely not the best way that you can go about it. Just because, for example, you're trying to upgrade this piece of gear and you want to use some fodder, right? You'll be getting a +2 increase for a little over 14,000 gold, right? Now, in this example, obviously, it doesn't seem like too much, but when you're upgrading higher level pieces of gear and using way more fodder, this price tag goes up by quite a lot, okay? Now, if we change things up a little bit and use a charm instead, as we can see, not only do we get a higher level increase, but the cost is way less. So I just wanted to bring this up to your attention because when I started the game, I honestly thought it was just about the exact same thing, right? Like I didn't think there was too big of a discrepancy between using fodder or charms to upgrade your gear, but there definitely is a massive difference, okay? I would always wonder why I was so low on gold, and that was because I would never use my charms, and instead I would always just hoard all the fodder gear that I would get, so I could upgrade my gear. Now, after so much time, I finally realized that what was eating my gold away was me upgrading with fodder instead of just using my charms, okay? So keep that in mind, and like I said, do not be afraid to use fodder whenever you that's all you have, right? You know, that's, you gotta do what you gotta do, but do not rely solely on fodder to get your gear up and running, okay? And yeah, guys, that should be it. I don't want to drag this on for too long. Hopefully some of these tips helped you out. Maybe even if you've been playing for a while, I was able to bring some light to some of the subjects that we covered in this video for you. As always, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for checking out the video. Please subscribe and like the video if you enjoy this type of content. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.